Welcome to the channel. This is Go Gretty, and welcome to the World Touring Car 800 at Watkins Glen. It is you versus the AI on Gran Turismo, and I've got 3 different options for you to get that first place. So 3 cars to choose from, 3 different strategies. Stick around, check it out. All right, car number 1 of strategy number 1 is the Group 3 Aston Martin. And well, we're going to fit that bad boy with a high-end supercharger to give it some punchity punch on the big end. And well, to make sure I can get on by while I'm trying to save fuel, I'm going to add some NOS because this is a no-stopper. So I've got to be shifting early. I went ahead and grabbed all the available racing tires just so I'd have them for me in the future if I did want them. But I'm only going to be using the racing hards for this challenge. Now, this is a 7X fuel, 10X tire race, which means we've got to watch those tires and save that fuel like you wouldn't believe. So you can see my sheet here. I didn't do any funny things. It's just a stock sheet with the supercharger and the racing hard tires. Let's enter the race. Get her started. Let's see what we can pull off right here. Now, they start you off at fuel map 1, and I'm hauling tail. I downshift early here to make sure I don't use too much fuel at the start, but I do need to get by this pack of cars quickly. I can save more fuel when I get out front, but I am shifting short. As you can tell right there, just banging into the next gear soon. Get a little wide as the tires haven't quite warmed up yet. And I look down and see I'm at 5 laps of estimated fuel on my fuel gauge, on my metering gauge down there below the green one. I say, oh, I better get to fuel map 4. Now, this is my first try at a no-stop here at Watkins Glen, so I wasn't really sure how good the Aston Martin could save fuel. I just wanted to use something different than my previous 2 races that I had done. So I jumped in a European car and I decided to go with the Aston Martin just because I used to like it so much in Gran Turismo Sports. And now head down to the inside of Bishop here looking to make a pass. I'm going to have to try and get on by him here as we head into this right-hander going uphill. Can I get a move made along the outside? Dispatch of him like it's no problem. On to try my luck with Cocaburn, who is in the RX-7. Get right on by him. And well, I wave at the former Gran Turismo champion, Mr. Gallo, and the NSX. So I was actually a little surprised at how well we went by those 2 as I'm on fuel map 4 here. Now, as we cross the line, I move it up to fuel map 6 as I've only got 6.6 laps remaining, and we're on lap 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8, plus the 1 lap we're on is 9. So 8 plus 1 equals 9, and I have 6.8 laps of fuel remaining. That is not going to get me to the end, so I had to bring up that fuel map to 6. Now I'm hitting the NOS here to get by this big pack of cars, and well, Gretty ain't afraid to send it. And you know what? This AI I have no love for. I almost die right here. Do not suggest that level of sending on the AI, as that was just a little too aggressive. Gretty's elbows out really far there as I try to shove my way through that pack of cars, but managed to get through there without dying. So no harm, no foul is what they say. All right, on to lap number 3, and I've got McEwen in my sights. He's in the Corvette, and it's got a little pack of cars up here. AI likes to go too wide when you catch up to him to try and make you have to back off or figure something else out. Really a little bit aggravating, but I split these 2 like a professional driver. Looking pretty good there on that pass. Now I've got my sights set towards Igor Fraga, hoping he doesn't lift here and make me run into the back of him like he did Mikel Hazel in the Gran Turismo World Finals, but he does not, and we're going to send it through the chicane now. Fraga is game. He tries to hold it with me, gets in the back of my car just a little bit there as we go through the chicane, but get through there without dying once again. So now setting my sights there on Mikel Hazel in the WRX. Going to try and go around the outside there. We get the move done, and we split him and Yamanaka. Again, he gets into the rear quarter panel of old Gretty. Gretty holds it tight though. Now I'm gonna make the move around the outside on the hard tires in fuel map 6 like a total champion. Dispatched Yamanaka. Now I got 16 seconds between me and Portilla, who's in first place. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that. Gonna see if that time comes down or not as Hazel tries to lunge me into the right-hander. That is not gonna work on Gretty Hazel. This is not my first time around the block. Anyway, so if I can keep that time around 16 seconds between me and Portilla, I know that I can make something happen. Now, Beauvoir jumps in the pit. That moves me up into 3rd. I'm 17 seconds behind the leader here on lap 5. Again, only lost a second to the leader in that last lap. All I need to do is just keep that time distance about the same, because the pit stop is going to be 30 seconds long. So if I can maintain this gap between me and P1 now, I know when he goes in the pits and comes out, I'll be able to hold off any charge he might have, because I have a 13-ish second lead. So now on to lap number 5. Fuel looking pretty good here as I'm heading towards the start-finish line. Got 5 laps remaining as we cross there. 14-second gap, picked up some time. Lap times are looking pretty consistent, so I need to hold around a 46, 47-second lap time in there, and I think I can pull off this no stopper without too much trouble. On to lap number 6, catch up to the V12 Vantage driven by Mendoza. I'm going to have to try and get by him here in the same car. Not an easy task. Don't know if Mendoza is trying to save fuel or not. Don't know what tires he's on. Using a little bit of NOS here, there, and everywhere that I think I might need it. Trying not to spam it too much. Get that 30% boost in power when you hit that NOS button. Don't forget to map your NOS on your steering wheel, folks, so you can use it during the race. I've done that before. Anyway, so about a second gap between me and the Aston Martin. I'm still just on the edge of his slipstream and need to catch back up to him. But then, well, old Mendoza gets scared. He knows old Gretty's on his tail, so he hops into the pits to switch fuel, switch tires, and switch fuel. He needs to add fuel, switch tires, and that's it. Goodbye, Mendoza. He is out of the race as far as I'm concerned. He's going to be 20 seconds back with only 4 laps remaining. No way he's going to catch up to me. Now I've got about a 8-second gap on lap number 7 to Portilla. As you look over there, my lap times again hanging in that 146 range, 7.5 second gaps, and I know Portilla's got a pit. He jumps in there. He's on the hard tires. He picks up fuel. Question is, where is he going to come out? My fuel's looking good. Got 3.1 laps of fuel remaining. We're on lap 8 of 10 now. 8 plus 2 equals 10, plus the 1 lap we're on is 3. 2 plus 1 equals 3. I've got 3 laps of fuel remaining. Everything's looking peachy keen for Go Gretty. Heading around here on lap late, so I get on the NOS button, try and pull up the speed a little bit here as we head towards the chicane. See if I can't build a little gap between me and Portilla, who's only 11.5 seconds behind me as he comes out of the pits. But 11.5 seconds is a lot of time to pick up in 2.5 laps. On to the final lap. Get on the brakes here just around the 300 board. Send it down the inside. Get back on the gas there. Look up. I've got a 16-second gap between me and Portilla. Gonna hold it to the floor with the NOS button pinned as this is my last lap. Turn in there at the end of the curbing. Get back on the inside of this curbing, holding the throttle to the floor as we head towards the Watkins Glenn chicane. Now, I'm gonna try and keep speed through the chicane. Gonna break around the 400-meter board. Ease off the brakes, drop her down in 4th, cut the curbing there on the left-hand side, get back on the throttle nice and early, and then back off of it. Let the car just kind of float around this one corner here on this right-hander, save some fuel, and try and maintain speed through there. Now I'm going to brake just at about the 200 board. Should be a little closer down to the inside on that curbing. Apexed out a little late, got on the gas a little late there as well, but that's okay. In fuel map 6, we got 0.6 laps remaining in this right-hander. Going to try and get on the gas early, coming out this corner, up this uphill. Got a little too early, started to push out a little bit wide. Looking at my fuel and deciding if I just need to keep it in fuel map 6 or not. Decide I can drop it down in 4th because I've got 4% fuel that is left, and I'm well past the halfway point. Just going to open it up a little bit more. Get on the brakes between the 200 and the 100 board. Depending on how much fuel you have on board in your car, the more fuel you have, the further you got to brake back, and vice versa. Now, only a couple corners remain. Going to lift here at the 200 board. Let it float around there. Get on the gas too early. Trying to get a fastest lap. Brake before the billboard on the left, down the inside. Back on the gas. Pick up a penalty for going wide earlier, but it's not going to help Portilla because he's 20 seconds behind. Cross the line. Take P1 on the no stopper in the Aston Martin, with that big old high-end supercharger and a sweet, sweet bottle of NOS in the trunk. Now that puts me at a 17:56.877 on the race, obliterating the competition. So I decided to give it a try and something different. Grab the Subaru WRX STI, and I'm going to go to the tuning shop because we've got to pick up some parts for this race. I'm going to grab a turbo, a high RPM turbo. Gonna throw that on the old Subaru there. Need to go ahead and pick up some tires for this thing. So we go over the racing tab, slap in some racing soft and some racing medium tires in my shopping cart. And of course, well, it's just not a WTC 800 race without a bottle of NOS in the old back end of the car, in the boot, as the British might say. I like to put it in the trunk myself, but we're going to hop back into this 7X Fuel 10X race on the racing medium tires. We're going to go for the one stopper. As you see, no shenanigans on the tuning. I am not interested in tuning cars. I really just want to race, to be honest with you, and no stoppers are extremely boring because you have to save fuel. So we're going to put the NOS one stop racing medium tire strategy to the test right here. Let's see what we can do. Come out the gates swinging in fuel map 1. NOS just blazing, just forcing that N2O in there, bringing all that sweet air fuel mixture into the car, creating all that horsepower to get by these poor suckers as we go down this long straightaway towards the chicane here at Watkins Glen, picking up past 170 miles an hour in the WRX, pushing on to 180 before we get to the breaking point there at about the 400, between the 400 and the 300 meter board, whatever you're feeling like you can get through there. Now those two get pretty feisty as we're coming out the chicane, letting me slip on by down the inside. Now I'm not going to have to short shift or anything crazy. I'm just going to leave it in fuel map 2 and rev her out. And now I get to the backside of Gallo here, still again on fuel map 2. He does this weird wiggle as he comes out the corner, trying to figure out which way he's going to go. So I know which way to go down and make it the pass. Decided to go around the outside. Now I've got my sights set towards Cockburn in the Mazda. Hit a little NOS there to try and catch up to them as this high-end turbo doesn't quite have the oomph that the high-end supercharger on the Aston Martin did, but more of a fuel sipper than the Aston Martin is. So I'm able to save a little more fuel. So when I do this one stopper, I can really rev her out and really take advantage of these racing medium tires to try and make up as much time as possible. Now, kind of stuck behind the Corvette here. I think I even hit the brakes a little bit right there through that turn. Not exactly what you want to do. Again, on the brakes there before that billboard, down to the inside, hitting a little NOS to try and catch up to the Corvette before the next turn. Looks like he tries to take away the inside line, no go. 4 laps of fuel left on lap 2. Nail Martin Grady going through turn 1 as I'm paying attention to the fuel and not to where I'm braking. Sorry about that, M. Grady, but not sorry. I mean, he's in an Audi R8 for crying out loud. It is a luxury vehicle. It's a pretty car. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, so continuing on, I had about 4 laps of fuel remaining as I crossed the line there. I needed 4 laps to get to 5, so 2 minus 5 is 3, plus the lap we're on is equal to 4. 3 plus 1 equals 4. That's right, folks. Ready, can do math. Go down the inside of Ordonez in the Nissan GTR and get by, well, kind of get by Minnesota there on the left-hand side, getting to the back bumper. I'm just a little bit rubbing is racing, folks. Miyazano, well, I dispatched of him quickly. Time to move on. Now I nail Hazael in the I'm just hitting everybody in this race. Why not? We're going for it. It's a one-stopper. Use up the remaining of my NOS to try and pull away from that crowd. Just trying to get as far up towards the front as I can. The idea here is to get, the further I get up towards the front, maybe the more of a strategy change I might be able to force on the AI, as I did notice that in the Daytona race, that if you got up towards the front, you could force a bit of a strategy change. So a bunch of folks there hop in the pit at the end of lap 4, Beauvoir, one of them, and he was on the soft tire, so he's going to need to fill up his tank and hop back out on soft. Don't know how he's making those soft tires last 5 laps, but good job there by the Frenchman. As we say, au revoir to you, Mr. Beauvoir. And on to lap 5, looking down there, everything is looking good. Tires looking a little worn. Got a 1-second penalty. Had to serve that as I cut too much of the chicane. So did serve that. That's going to cost me time. Is that going to play into how well I do at the end of the race? Well, of course it is, because, well, it's time served. Now, going in the pits here, do not cross these yellow lines A 3-second penalty is not worth a half or a quarter second you might save on the turn. Found that out the hard way in an earlier race. So stay within those yellow lines, get into the pit, fill up your fuel, put your new racing medium tires on, and head back out. So that's what we do here. Heading back out onto course. The question is, where am I going to end up? How many positions did I take in this first half of the race? You see a few more folks jumping into the pits, getting some fuel, getting some fresh tires as I putt on back out towards the course. You see the pit time ticking up, 38, 39, 40, and climbing. And we finally get back on the racetrack, and I'm in P17. I must say I was a little dejected by that. I was like, man, I did a lot of work. I got pretty far out in front of these folks, and I'm only in 17th. Well, a couple laps later, some folks from the pits, and now I'm up to P14. Bunch of more people jumping in here on lap number 6. You see some folks going in there on medium tires, one on hards. They're all going in the pits there on lap number 6. Now, it was like a 30 to 40 second pit stop, depending on if you're changing tires. That's a 2.5 second animation to change those tires. And if they get fuel with, everybody's probably going to need fuel. So that's a 2.5 second animation plus 10 liters per second. That's a second for every 10 liters per fuel. Get by the Porsche. Now I head down on the inside of the Ferrari, piloted by the Australian. Get by him without too much trouble. But look at that. Kawakami coming back at Gretty. I don't think so. No. I get back on the throttle, dispatch at Kawakami, say, get in the rearview mirror where you belong, son. I'm coming through. Got to tell you, Gretty on the one stopper, taking no prisoners, folks. Just sending it wherever I can. All right, here we are heading down into the right-hand. We're on lap number 7. Got to catch up to the next group of folks. I've got 8 people to get past here if I'm going to pull off this victory before the end of the race. So now catch the back end of P7. Beauvoir, au revoir, Beauvoir once again. Now I got C. Lopez on the outside. Say goodbye, sucker. Now round on Rubilar. Heading towards the chicane. Next up, Ordonez. Does Gretty send it on Ordonez? Yes, I do. But the GTR comes back. He says, "Olay!" But Gretty comes right back at him. No fear, folks. Now across the line on lap number 9. I'm still 7.5 seconds off the leader with only 2 laps remaining. I'm a little nervous. Palms are a little sweaty. I'm thinking, did I pull the right strategy? Did I do something wrong? I mean, I got that penalty. Well, we get down the inside of Miazano there on the right-hander. Now it's time to try and catch Portilla before the end of the race. Can I take P2? Yes, I do. Down the inside of Portilla. The racing medium tires gripping up on the track. I show them how it's done as we go down through that left-hander towards the uphill right here at Watkins Glen. Gretty is in P2. 2.5 seconds to the leader. I can see him up ahead, but can I get by him? With 1 lap to go, just the WRX versus the V12 Vantage driven by Mendoza. I go around the outside on the long straight towards the chicane and take care of business. Get on by Mendoza without too much trouble, and then I just scamper off into the distance, right off into the sunset. Gretty accomplishes the task at hand, wins the girl, gets the major award, takes home the trophy for numero uno, number 1, as we cross the line. Mission accomplished on the racing medium, 1 stop with NOS and the big turbo, the WRX, in an 1812 239. Quite a bit slower, even if you considered not having the penalty there. So let's go at this again with a Group 3 Mustang with a Supercharger, racing medium tires, 1 stopper, no NOS this time. We're going naked. We're not throwing anything in the trunks, folks. We are jumping into the pond naked. We are skinny dipping here on this final race. We're going to again pull the 1 stopper on the racing mediums in a car that is terrible on fuel and tires, the Group 3 Mustang, and we're going to do it with no N2O. Can it be done? Well, we're about to find out. I send it down the chicane. Let Coca burn. I'm here to race and race hard. taking no prisoners as we go down into the right-hander, looking to get around C. Bishop. He is all in my way, trying to find a way around this Ferrari here. That big V8 splits the NSX and the Ferrari. That Supercharger just winding up, even on fuel map 2. The power is just on demand. As look at it eat up all of these cars on the straight, even without NOS. Mustang just absolutely flying, almost reaching 180 miles an hour before the chicane on fuel map 2 with no NOS. It is a machine worth having. It is quite a sight to behold. Fun car to drive, way more fun than the no stop. I got to tell you, I was making these boys nervous as I was flying around this track. Go by Yamanaka, without any trouble at all, folks. I did go to LSU and I got a degree, but it was not in foreign language, despite what you might think. I know I pronounce these names with crisp clarity that you would think it's of the native tongue, but it is not true that I am a savant of language. I am just a guy in Louisiana who tries to pronounce some of the strangest names you've ever seen in any state, county, or parish. And I do it, well, with gusto, right or wrong. All right, so here we are heading towards Igor Fraga on lap number 3. Can we get by him? We are at 14 seconds off the leader, 2.4 laps of fuel remaining on lap 3 here near the end. Only the penultimate quarter remains at the end of this lap. So we get by Fraga, head on to the front stretch here at Watkins Glen, and I crossed the line with just over 2 laps of fuel left, just over 2 laps of fuel before I need to pit on lap number 5. Now I get past Mendoza here, heading into the chicane again. No fear from Go Gretty, just letting it all hang out there through the chicane. Jaws are dropping from what the fans are seeing right there, folks. All right. Rounding out lap number 4, looking pretty good, sitting in P3 right now, 12 seconds off the leader, feeling pretty good about that. Now I still got to stop and get fuel and tires as Portilla and Beauvoir jump into the pits. I've got 11.5 seconds between me and them, which means as they come out of the pits, they'll be roughly 38 or so seconds behind me, but I'm going to need to come in and pit as well, which is going to cost me about 40 seconds. Now, they're going to have a little bit of an undercut on me. But, again, I think I forced a different strategy. I think I forced the undercut by the leaders here by getting up past, I think it was Mendoza or so. But when you pass like Mendoza, all of a sudden it looks like the leaders changed their strategy a little bit. So, heading into the pits here on lap 5 and again, staying between those lines. Don't want to make any mistakes. Got a little bit of spare fuel in the tank there, and I'm going to throw on my medium tires, and I'm going to go ahead and fill it up. And boy, I tell you what, even at 10 liters per second, this seems to take a 4 absolutely ever to put fuel in the tank of this nearly empty Mustang and get it back on track so I can do the part that I came to do, which is race this big supercharged V8 muscle car from deep in the heart of America. And we are going to get it done here at Watkins Glen. I've got a good feeling about it. So get into 5th gear on fuel map number 2. We are just going to rev her out. Again, fuel map 2, all you need in this one stop in this supercharged Mustang, and it will make it to the end for you. I dropped a short shift here or there every once in a while, but I don't even think it's really necessary, to be honest with you. You can just keep her in fuel map 2 and just go for it. Now, get by Kawakami there and heading back towards Solace in the Alfa Romeo. Go right on by that slow little turd without any trouble at all. Set my sights towards Martin Grady driving that luxury German sedan in front of me. That's right, the Audi R8. Pull on him like he's sitting still. Get on the brakes there late. Send it down the inside of Grady. Give him a little body check going in the corner. Let him know who's boss. Go right on by. Lap number 7. Fly by the Aston Martin, get on the inside of Beauvais. Now look back to the inside, get the cutback on him coming out of the chicane. What a move by Gretty on lap 7 to get by Beauvoir there into P6. 10.8 seconds off the leader, 1 second to Inestrosa in the Porsche. Can we catch up to this little group of 3? Gonna try and move up 3 spots here in the next few corners, as I am running out of time and running out of laps to get into P1 before the end of the race. And they're looking pretty game as we head down this split back stretch towards the right-hander. Get by Nostroza, get by Rubilar. Sights set on Bishop. Another body check as I come out of that right-hander. Let him know again that I mean business. Now we come out of the last set of corners towards the front stretch, and Bishop heads into the pit stops. He does, I believe, a two-stopper there, or a really late one-stopper. Not sure, but that only leaves P1 and P2 for Grady to catch with 3 laps to go. I now get onto the back bumper of Portilla in the Dodge Viper. That V12 no match for this supercharged V8 Mustang, who's charging up from behind. Portilla loses the back end, trying to get on the gas early. Lose Grady coming out of that corner. Not going to happen. I send it down the inside. Make the move stick. Come out in third gear, folks. Foot to the floor. It is time to track down P1, who is 6 seconds in front of me with 2 laps to go. Now 4 seconds in front with just under 2 laps to go. He goes into the pits. Does Miyazono. I take the lead on lap 9 with 2 laps to go. The leaders go in the pits. It is just me and Portilla remaining on the track with any chance of taking the victory. The Mustang absolutely destroying the one-stopper. I'm a little bit shocked, to be honest with you, because it's not great on fuel. It's not great on tires. Its turn-in isn't that great. But I tell you what, it is getting the job done. Now here on the final lap, I've got no challenge, as behind me there was another pit stop. So now I am 20 seconds in the lead, crossed the line, finished P1 at the tippy top of the podium. That's right, I'm standing there on the upper step, and they put the big medal around my neck. An 18:08, again, not as fast as the no stopper, but good enough to get it done. So there you have it, folks. 3 different cars, 3 different strategies to get that first place here at the World Touring Car 800 at Watkins Glen. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed all the action and the commentary. If you can hit like and or subscribe, come back, check out some more. For myself, go Grady. Y'all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.